Unbelievable, Guy exclaims, exhaling slowly as he continues to stare at his phone. Has Richard lost his mind? I'm still reading through our beloved godfather's email, thinking much the same thing. Richard Haverington is one of the kindest, most thoughtful men I've ever met, but he's a man who, even he would admit, enjoys a quiet, simple life. Albeit his style is different to most. The words I would use to describe him are flamboyant, fun, and grounded. Someone who has never believed the grass is greener on the other side of the fence. He's married! I gasp, staring across at Guy, who doesn't seem to have reached that part of the email yet. What? He replies, his finger scrolling down quickly, and when he resumes reading again, his jaw drops. This is sheer madness, Marci. Why is this the first we're hearing about it? I shrug my shoulders. I have absolutely no idea why Richard decided to keep this a secret from us. It doesn't make any sense. With 2 failed romances behind me, Richard was always just a phone call away. He was my listening ear and helped me to put things into perspective, even when my heart was broken. And he was the one Guy turned to when he had some pre-wedding nerves last summer, so for Richard to go off and secretly marry someone without even mentioning it is completely out of character. Richard was at boarding school with Dad, and after university they were both drawn into the world of antiques. They set up a business together in an old warehouse situated at Gloucester Quays. When Richard suddenly announced that he was moving to Italy, it's true to say that his decision came totally out of the blue. But it made sense, because for 2 consecutive winters he'd ended up in hospital with pneumonia. The warmer climate was going to be beneficial for him, and it paid off. At the time I was 11 years old, and Guy was about to turn 16. Saying goodbye to Richard was tough. He'd been around all of our lives, always present and supportive. As a bachelor, Richard had time for us when our parents were busy, and sometimes he'd pick us up from school and treat us to a meal out. Richard left a hole in our lives when he went, although the irony is that it drew Guy and Dad even closer together. I'm not abandoning you, Poppet. I promise to come back to see you all at least twice a year. Richard had stated quite firmly the day before he flew out to begin his new life. Your mum and Dad will visit for holidays, and we'll hire a couple of camper vans and meet up somewhere to discover the delights of Italy together. And, true to his word, every summer until Dad passed away just 6 years later, that's what we did. We met up during the summer holidays, and for 2 glorious weeks we travelled around in a little convoy. We toured large areas of northern Italy together before our lives were suddenly turned upside down. Losing Dad was devastating for us all, but especially hard on Mum and Guy, who had to shoulder the responsibility of the business while dealing with their grief. And my dream of working at Anvil and Anchor Antiques with Dad never came true, as it was another 4 years until I gained my degree and joined the team. Naturally, Richard took losing his closest friend very hard, not least because he didn't get to say a final goodbye.